If you'll take a deep Shabbat breath with us, opportunity to set aside all of the unfinished business and even the finished business, but that you're carrying with you on your shoulders. Perhaps you are feeling the stress of the week, and this is your chance to just breathe it out and try to enter this space fully. There is another nigun that I've had in my head all week. This is one that we do it at camp. And maybe that's why I'm thinking about it, since this is the time when camp should be in full swing, and the summer, even the summer rain, we got a little bit of rain earlier today. It makes me feel like we should be out at camp, at least outside, enjoying the sunshine. So this one is very simple as well. I hope you'll join with me. Ya ba bim bam, ya ba ba bim bam, ya ba bim bam, ya ba ba ya ba ba ba, ya ba bim bam, ya ba ba bim bam, ya ba 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 ya ba 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 ba. Oh ya ba bim bam, ya ba ba bim bam, ya ba bim bam, ya ba ba ya ba ba ba, ya ba bim bam, ya ba ba bim bam, ya ba ba ya ba 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 ba. Oh ya ba bim bam, ya ba bim bam, ya ba bim bam, ya ba ba ya ba ba ba, ya ba bim bam, ya ba ba bim bam, ya ba ba ya ba. Let's do that one more time. Oh ya ba bim bam, ya ba ba bim bam, ya ba bim bam, ya ba ba ya ba ba ba, ya ba bim bam, ya ba ba bim bam, ya ba ba ya ba 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 ba. יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. Lo yisa goy el goy charev. One day, it is our belief, it is our fervent prayer that nations will not fight and that we shall sit together in peace. Lo yisa goy el goy charev, lo yilmedu od milchama. We won't even teach. None of us will even learn what it means to be at war anymore. Some call that just a dream, but we have always believed in the impossible. Be a Jewish person, some say, means believing in the impossible, and it means working to make that impossible possible and real. So let us continue to pray that peace might actually reign in the world, in our country, in our city, in our own congregation, in our families, and in the heart of every single one of us. May we find peace. May all of our prayers lead us to peace. Shabbat Shalom. Perhaps we have time for maybe one more song. Let's see. I was thinking of this one earlier, that we ask that the blessings of the past be brought into our lives and into the present moment. La Yehudim Haita Ora, Simcha, Sason V'ikar. To the Jewish people have always belonged the blessings of light, of joy, and of the essence of what is real. May these be our blessings as well. Ken tihi alanu. May they also be our blessings. La Yehudim Haita Ora, V'simcha V'sason La Yehudim Haita Ora, V'simcha V'sason V'ikar. Ken tiye lanu, tiye lanu, tiye lanu. Ken tiye lanu, tiye lanu, tiye lanu. La Yehudim Haita Ora, V'simcha V'sason V'ikar. La Yehudim Haita Ora, V'simcha V'sason V'ikar. Ken tiye lanu. Ken tiye lanu, tiye lanu, tiye lanu. Ken tiye lanu. hayta'ora, v'simcha, v'sason, v'kam. La Yehudim hayta'ora, v'simcha, v'sason,
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you for joining us this Shabbat evening service, the last Shabbat of June. Can we believe that this is actually the last Shabbat of June? This has been a month full of experiences, and it's been an awakening one. We came into this month with our focus on celebrating Pride, and we ended up honoring Pride Month and the wishes of our Pride organizers by standing alongside the Black community and offering our solidarity. We looked inside ourselves and outward at our country, and we asked difficult questions. And what we found was that our attention, our awareness, and our intention make a huge difference in bringing peace to our world. So let us begin this Shabbat with these things, with attention, with awareness, with intention, so that in this sacred space, yes, this sacred space that we have created between our disparate spaces, so that that becomes a web of compassion, care, and peace. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. We begin this evening with a prayer to praise what it means to join together, to praise God with everything we have, with all of our instruments, and even in our own spaces, whether it's using our voices or clapping our hands. Mizmor Shir. Mizmor Shir leyom haShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Mizmor Shir leyom haShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Ulzamer l'shimcha elyon, ulzamer l'shimcha elyon. Lehagid baboker chastecha, ve'emunatcha balelot. Mizmor Shir leyom haShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Mizmor Shir leyom haShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tzadika tamar yifrach, ke'erez balvanon yizkeh, shetulim beveit Adonai, bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu. Od yenuvun beseiva, deshenim verananim iu. Lehagid ki hashar Adonai, tzur just as we, the Jewish people, have survived and shown resilience in all kinds of circumstances, so too did we learn at Passover what it meant to gather for a Seder in a distanced way. I'm thrilled to say that this weekend, the Indianapolis Hebrew congregation is going to also celebrate a first. We are very excited to celebrate Adriana Posdal's bat mitzvah this weekend, and it will be done virtually. So it is now my honor and my pleasure to invite Adriana, her brother Killian, her mom Stacy, and her dad Tim to all join us as we light candles together.
You have to move these to us.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. And Adriana, we know personally as your clergy team just how much light you bring to this world and just how much light you bring to the people around you. So on behalf of your entire community, Mazal Tov, we are all standing right with you in this very moment, and we look forward to a celebration tomorrow morning. Mazel Tov to the whole family.
Thank you.
I invite you all to join me for the Kiddush. It can be found in our flip book on page 4. There will be a link to our flip book in the chat in just a minute. It is a virtual resource if you decide to use it so as to follow along in the prayer book. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho ve'ahavahu v'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila l'mikra'ei kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. L'chaim.
L'chaim, to life. And Adriana, this is such a wonderful moment for us to celebrate with you and your family. Can I just point out to everyone how beautiful the decorations are there at your home? It's really so fun to celebrate with you. And I know that this is really challenging. It's really not the way that we all envisioned being together for your bat mitzvah, but your enthusiasm and your excitement about this, it truly kind of just comes right through the computer screen. And even in our rehearsals up till this point, Adriana, it's been just a pleasure to watch you lead, to watch you grow into this wonderful young woman. And we're very excited about tomorrow. So on behalf of the congregation, you know that there are some gifts in this, that's part of the deal. There's one of the gifts that is there at your house already. That's from the clergy team. They both look like they're silver, so I don't know. Oh no, one's blue, right? Oh yeah, okay. The blue one should be a Kiddush cup, I believe. That's from the Brotherhood and the Sisterhood that want you to know that you are part of this wonderful congregation, and they're excited to welcome you into all of the programming we do and all the ways that being part of IHC is so special. The silver one is from your clergy team, from Rabbi Scott Fox, from afar, from Rabbi Roxanne, from Cantor Aviva, and from me, and even from Rabbi Jordana, who is coming next week, and she doesn't even know yet, but she is in for a treat getting to know you. So congratulations on behalf of all of those members of the community who are celebrating with you from afar. There's a certificate and all of that we'll do tomorrow, but for right now, we just wanted you to know how excited we are to celebrate with you tomorrow, even if it's over Zoom. Mazel tov to you and your family. Now we move into the next part of our service. We have really tried to be thoughtful about the ways that we present this service to you so that we can enter prayer together in a meaningful way. And that has looked creative as we've done it over Zoom. But the Shema stands out as a particularly important prayer to do in yes, a creative way, of course, but also in as traditional way as possible. The idea of the Shema is to feel surrounded by your community. That's why traditionally we close our eyes for the Shema. It's because the rest of our senses become heightened when we do that, and we might become more aware of being surrounded by others. And so I'm going to invite us today, instead of closing our eyes, because then it's harder in this environment to become aware of one another, but instead to maybe take this moment to look through the Zoom platform and to see, if you're in the gallery view, you can see all of the different faces smiling at us. Even if we're muted, we're singing together the Shema. And before that, a little interpretation of the Shema from our Nefesh prayer book. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love we have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. Please join with me, we'll sing that again. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live. Teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy. Fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace, gather us in peace. Lead us to your name as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. Shema Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. I love that we are feeling more connected as well to the free flip book that the CCR has put together. That is our Mishkan Tefillah prayer book. I don't believe that this tradition, that this interpretation or translation of the Ve'ahavta is in there, but if you're following along, you'll be able to find the Ve'ahavta right after the Shema. Love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you on this day shall be in your heart, shall be in your heart. Teach them faithfully unto your children. Speak of them when you sit in your house, when you you walk by the way, when you lie down and when you rise. Bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for symbols between your eyes. Write them on the doorpost of your house, and upon your gates, and upon your gates. Teach them faithfully. Teach them faithfully unto your children. Speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise, and when you rise.
Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect. The song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished. A gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content. Her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed. The song of peace. I invite you to join me on page 40, Mi Chamocha. Mi Chamocha, Ba'elim Adonai. Mi Kamocha, Nedar B'Kodesh, Norah Tehilot. O Seifele Norah Tehilot. O Seifele Malechutcha Ra'u Vanecha Bokei Ayam Livnei Moshe uMiriam Zeilianu ve'amru Zeilianu ve'amru Adonai imloch leolam va'ed Mi Chamocha Ba'elim Adonai. Mi Kamocha Nedar B'Kodesh.
So as we move towards our Amidah, we find that the Amidah is introduced with the words, Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. These words are an intention, a conscious thought to ask God to cause action for the sake of God. In Noah Aronson's arrangement of this prayer that we sing tonight, he offers the English lyrics, Am I awake? Am I prepared? Asking ourselves if we are coming with full resolve. Both languages expressing the same idea that we should come with purpose. And even though we have reached the core of the service, the designers of the elements of the order of our prayer service knew that what had come before may have only been a warm-up for us, that it is hard to enter into a prayer service, to leave all the stresses behind, and to immediately be present. And so we warm up. we enter prayer slowly and we allow ourselves to be enveloped by the words, the melody, the chant, until we know that we are present and we are aware.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? La 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 la, 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 la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Adonai, Sefatai titach, ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. La 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 la, 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 la la la.
This has been a harrowing and unprecedented time for everyone, but it was a few weeks ago that singers in particular discovered just how difficult COVID was about to make our lives. Unfortunately, a webinar took place where we were dubbed as super spreaders when it came to aerosols, and we learned that we would have to distance even further and that singing in groups was not going to be possible. And just as I sit here tonight, I realize just how much I miss each and every one of you, and in particular, how much I miss my team singing together. It was when Rabbi Brett started singing La Yehudim that I thought, wow, I can't wait to be in the same room so we can layer that with harmony. A couple of my closest friends, Cantor Amanda Edmondson and Rabbi Jacqueline Fromer-Cohen, reached out to me and asked if I would be willing to collaborate on a piece by Ruth Moody called One Voice. We did collaborate, featuring Mike Berg-Ronick and Mark Berger, a guitarist in LA. And Rabbi Fromer-Cohen wrote this about the collaboration that we will share with you in just a moment. As summer begins, rabbis and cantors around the world are entering that unique period where, in a normal year, all seems calm, but the high holy days loom on the horizon. Yet this year we know no matter where we live or what we're currently planning with synagogue leadership, these days of awe will be different from any we've ever known. For cantors, cantorial soloists, music directors, choirs, and all who collaborate on sacred music, there is a particular sense of pain and anxiety. We are all too familiar with the higher risks of spreading COVID-19 through communal singing. Right now, in this very moment, we yearn to create music, to physically gather, hug and embrace, laugh and cry, and comfort and lift spirits through song. But our commitment to preserving life and keeping one another healthy is the most important of all. And so as summer begins, we're gathering together virtually and exploring new avenues for musical collaboration. We're uniting with friends and colleagues around the country, supporting one another through this very strange time. We're getting creative, experimenting with previously unknown technology, and we are learning a whole lot. And in a strange way, each of us, we are more united than ever. We are singing together in one voice, strong, loud, and clear. We are forging ahead through this surreal time, knowing that this is not our forever, that these things we are learning right now will only make our communities stronger. Soon, our voices will rise together again, safely, powerfully, and communally. Until then, let's keep these virtual collaborations coming. May they continue to inspire us all. This is One Voice.
To make it through. This is the sound of voices too. This is the sound of voices too. This is the sound of voices three. Singing together in harmony. Surrendering to the mystery. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of all of us. Singing with love and the behind, it'll turn to dust. This is the sound of all of us. This is the sound of all of us. This is the sound of one voice, one people, one voice, song for every one of us. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice.
It's that sound of one voice that, for me, adds so much power to our Misha Berach prayer for healing. That we could be in our individual spaces and often do pray for the healing of an individual. But when we join together with our voice, asking for God to heal, asking for strength, asking for comfort when healing may not come, if we do so together as a community. And there is so much power in that one voice that we share together to lift those voices higher. And so our thoughts turn to our loved ones, our friends, and our neighbors who are in need of healing. whether that's healing of body, healing of spirit, or healing of mind. And we pray that they will move through their illness and pain and find comfort and healing. I invite you to add names to the chat so that I may say their name aloud before we join together in that one voice for healing. Paul Marquardt, Kevin Lawrence, Selma Hurwitz, Cindy Merrill, Gary David Friedman. Excuse me a moment while I go to the top of our list to make sure that I can get everyone. I'm sorry if I missed anyone looking through the chat. Dennis Gelbart, Richard Watko, Jim Fleischer, Nancy Bonham, Richard Tomorian, Jill Ross, Javi Lev Goldstein, Pamela Harris Kaiser, Barbara Shapiro, Dallas, Joan Hamill, Jean Lee, Craig Rattery, Stephanie Pottinger, Linda Cohen. We join together with this one voice as we offer our prayer for healing.
מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say
It's as if I could hear that one voice just imagining us together. And I also add the names of Dodie Cowan and Frank Duncan. Sorry that all the names are not able to be read in the chat as they come because of internet and because other comments. We please know that your clergy are trying as best we can to get all the names. It's just not the easiest setup in a chat, but it's the best that we have. So please know that we're all with one voice for healing for all those in need. Now this week in our Torah portion, it's a favorite for dictators. It is a clear message to anyone wishing to rise up against a leader that you will be swallowed up by the earth for your rebellion. To summarize the story, for those less familiar with Korach, who is a cousin of Moses and Aaron of the Levite family, is said to have led a rebellion questioning Moses and Aaron's authority. In response, Moses challenges Korach to a duel, well, fire pan style, and God was about to annihilate everyone who gathered behind Korach and some others until Moses and Aaron begged God not to do so. So Moses and Aaron were granted the chance to ask the followers of Korach and his crew to turn away from Korach. Those who did were spared, and those who didn't were swallowed up by the earth right along with Korach. Now that should suffice to prevent any future rebellion, right? being swallowed up by the earth is a pretty scary thing. And that's the story of Korach in a nutshell. But I'm going to challenge us to look at the story deeper and hopefully not get swallowed up by the earth myself for what I'm about to question. Korach was the oldest son of the second oldest son of Kohath, okay? Should have screen shared a family tree. But Kohath's oldest son was Amram, who was the father to Moses and Aaron. We know that Aaron's sons were the descendants, they became the descendants of the Kohanim, the high priest. But the family leadership of the Kohathites, of the Levite tribe, was handed over to a son, we're not sure of the order, of the youngest child of Kohath. What? I mean, in our tradition, the oldest is the prime position. I know all of you who are oldest children are sitting up a little higher right now. So it makes sense that Amram's sons are busy, and so the second oldest son's male children should get the leadership role, right? But it doesn't happen that way. Now, I imagine that Korach was pretty confused. The next leadership position should have gone to him, but that didn't happen. So Korach challenges Moses and Aaron, saying, this is literally what Korach says that causes him to be swallowed up. You have gone too far, for all the community are holy, all of them, and the eternal is in their midst. Why then do you raise yourself up above the eternal's congregation? That was what he said. And I have to ask if Korach really did something that was so terrible. He was upset about the loss of his position that he thought was his. He didn't confront Moses and Aaron saying that he was the rightful leader. He asked why they had raised themselves up, recognizing that everyone else in the community was holy. Now, yes, one can argue that Moses and Aaron were given their positions by God and certainly didn't go seeking these roles. And thus Korach challenging them was really something that Korach was challenging God. But does this act rise to the level of needing to be swallowed up by the earth as punishment? If you are intrigued by this story, I hope you will join Rabbi Brett tomorrow for Torah study online so you can dive deeper into this text. But I want to use this as a jumping off point. What can we gather from a situational understanding of this Torah portion? Perhaps the entire matter is different depending on the vantage point of whom is witnessing it. Moses has a perspective, Aaron has a perspective, Korach has a perspective, and God certainly has a perspective. And these may not be, and most likely are not, congruent. In the Talmud, Berachot 55b, we find this statement: we do not see the world as it is, but rather as we are. I'm going to repeat that. We do not see the world as it is, but rather we see it as we are. What a powerful message, suggesting that we consider the tint of our glasses as we look out on the world. Just as with situations in the Torah portion, we can see many different facets, and yet the one we usually consider to be most accurate is our own. Many of us are guilty of this. I'll give you an example in the most trivial of matters so we can let our guard down. I'm the youngest in my family. I have two older brothers. My husband is the oldest of his family. He has two younger brothers. When our two daughters get in a fight, I may be accused of siding with my youngest daughter over my oldest daughter. I don't consciously do this, but if I force myself to understand why I do what I do, I simply connect with the plight of my younger daughter better. I can relate, I can feel her pain. I know that the youngest one just wants to be accepted and included by the older sibling. While I rationally understand that the younger child, maybe even I as a child, was annoying to my brothers and I interfered in their activities, I've never experienced the frustration that an older sibling has, so I don't really know it. My glasses are tinted with the color of a youngest child. And if we can understand this, the most minor of situations, how much more so with our global issues? The lens of our experiences shape how we see the world around us. This is not a matter for blame or fault. Yet if we fail to understand that we are evaluating a situation only with our own lens, then we have a challenge. I want you to take a second to think of a perspective you once had on a bigger issue, something that has changed or evolved in your lifetime. Now ask yourself why or how that change took place. I would suppose that it was a personal interaction with a person or a situation that made you see it differently. Did you believe a stereotype until you realized how wrong it was? Whether it came as a new perspective on race, religion, culture, orientation, identity, or other, it was probably a result of looking through a different pair of glasses and accepting that the way we see something may not be the only perspective. Now, this is not to say that all perspectives are just, but it is to say that all perspectives are personal lenses of the viewer. So when someone espouses social views that are not congruent with ours, we should first try to understand from where they came. Is it true hatred? Is it ignorance? Or is it simply a failure to see through a different lens? To be honest, asking questions helps me to personally gauge what is the situation and if I should respond. Just yesterday on Facebook, an acquaintance from 15 years ago, so none of you know them, who now I only see on Facebook, made a comment about how the hangman's knot or noose could have been used innocently in the NASCAR situation, and that it's often used in fishing and it's just an easy knot to make. I considered the tint of his glasses and I thought, he just doesn't see it. So I responded. I wrote, and a swastika is easy to draw. It's just lines, but decent people don't do it. I thought if he just saw this through a lens that he could relate to, he would understand why this wasn't okay. Alas, he didn't get it, and I ceased the back and forth. I don't think social media changes anyone's deeply rooted opinions, but it can help us see through a different lens if we are willing to listen. For me, that is the answer, being willing to listen and hear the stories. There is no way that any of us can fully understand if we only look through the tint of our own glasses. We have to see through a different tint or even a different pair of lenses. And this doesn't come with the snap of a finger, but it does come from listening, reading, and being vulnerable to accept that our lens is not the only way of seeing a situation. Perhaps Moses did see this, and that's why he responded to Korach to bring his fire pan. Maybe Moses thought, let's see how he does it. It's not my way, but let's see it. And yet, God was incensed and wanted to destroy all the challengers of the leadership of Moses and Aaron, perhaps feeling that this was a challenge to God. This wasn't the first time God wanted to destroy everyone that God saw as evil. But Moses and Aaron asked God to wait so that they could clarify with all Korach's followers where they stood. Ultimately, Korach and all those who stayed with him were swallowed up from the earth. But I do wonder what would have happened if that initial confrontation had gone differently. If Moses and Aaron had understood the lens through which Korach was speaking, and if Korach understood theirs, we may have had a very different biblical story. It does take intention, the purposeful seeking out of different views and perspectives, even those which are antithetical to your own. It does not mean that one should accept the views as just or right simply because they are a perspective, but it does help to develop understanding in our world. Then we work to educate and inform, and we make sure to continue to educate ourselves and learn from others. None of this is easy, and we have to work hard to make it our first response rather than our response after lots and lots of thought. But it is possible to train ourselves to recognize and respond differently. And if we all did this, what a beautiful world it might be if we all look through a rainbow of tints in our glasses. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much, Rabbi. It's wonderful to hear your words, and we're so grateful for them on this Shabbat. It's a pleasure to welcome Steve Kofkoff, member of our board of directors, to share a word of welcome as well. Shabbat Shalom, Stephen.
Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi, and thank you, Rabbi Roxanne, as well. It's wonderful to be with you this evening. I'm joined this evening by my girlfriend, Nicole. And we wanted to start by saying welcome to everyone joining us for the first time this evening. If we have any other guests, it's really good to have you with us tonight. Of course, we want to give a resounding mazel tov to Adriana and the Puzdol family on becoming Bat Mitzvah. How cool is it to be the first virtual B'nai Mitzvah? I think that's pretty incredible, personally. I think that's something you can say for the rest of your life, which I'm jealous of, at least. So we're sure that tomorrow will be a very special day for you, and we're looking forward to being there ourselves, so virtually, of course, but we're looking forward to that. And thank you, of course, again to the clergy and staff for tonight's lovely service and all you're doing for us in the community right now, which of course includes all the wonderful programming and opportunities we do have at IHC. A couple of the highlights we have coming up, as I mentioned, we've got Adriana's virtual Shabbat tomorrow at 10 a.m., which again, we've gotten marked on our calendar. There's also virtual Torah Talk at 9:30 next Wednesday on July 1st as well as another highlight. We have one more Shabbat before July 4th, but I certainly would like to make sure to wish everyone a wonderful 4th of July weekend as we celebrate our wonderful country together. So Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much, Steve. Shabbat Shalom to you and to Nicole. Hello. Shabbat Shalom. Wonderful to have you both with us. We, of course, want to recognize that there are many reasons why we join together for Shabbat. We are here to celebrate with Adriana, of course. We are here to feel as if we can sing with one voice, to offer the prayers, the deep longings of our heart. And of course, there are many here with us tonight who are suffering from pain and loss. We recognize those who needed the strength that healing prayers might offer. We also recognize that some have deeper pains from having lost a loved one, either in recent days or at this time in seasons past. We especially remember at the end of our service here, before we joined together with Mourners Kaddish, June Herman, who was put to rest this past week. Tom and Janie and their family certainly are keeping you in our hearts. We also add to June's name the name of Ellen Phillips, who was taken from our congregational family in the past 30 days, and as well those whose yahrzeits occurred this week, the anniversary of their passing. On this Shabbat, we remember Andy Abels, Marcia Abramson, Stephanie Allen, Robert Allison, Joseph Baer, Mary Bassler, Teresa Blickman, Jenny Brand, Larry Burke, Martin Cannon, Lucille Cohen, David Cutler, Fanny Epstein, Charles Fish, Paula Flax, Otto Fried, Benzion Venkel, Martin Glazer, Norman Glazer, Arthur Glick, Wallace Goldstein, Bessie Goodman, Francis Goodman, Ada Greenberg, Annalie Jaffe, Mo Katz, Manfred Kramer, Louis Krinsky, Jackie Law, David Leventhal, Sandra Lipp, Ellen Lorch, Alice Markwood, Rowana McCormick, Sam Mell, Joseph Mullen, Bernard Nickbarg, Rose Olszewicz, Sam Pachter, Sidney Parkins, Lillian Polisar, Minnie Roger, Bessie Shear, Harold Shear, Anna Schmuckler, Shelley Shane, Selma Stein, Herman Strashen, Jacob Tesser, Roberta Valentine, Luba Voldman, Jack Wedgel, Jacob Yosha, Francis Zeiker, and Rosa Zimbler. We also remember those who you bring into this prayer experience and invite you now to add the names of your loved ones who you'd like mentioned into the chat if you would like to, and I will read them as best I can. I see Margaret Marcone in the first year of mourning. We offer then the words Zichronam Livracha. May all of these loved ones and their memories be for blessing. And to that end, we bless their names and their memories together, the words of Mourner's Kaddish. Please join with us if you know the words. Yikadal v'kadash shemei rabbah, Bialma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, b'agala u'v'izman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei dekudsha brichu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushvachata v'nechemata, da'amiran bi'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlomo rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom mimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. To this blessing for peace at the end of Mourner's Kaddish, peace for the Jewish people, we have grown accustomed now to adding the important words of peace, a blessing for peace for all who dwell on earth, with the words Ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, and invite once again for all of us to say Amen. Amen.
As we turn now to the conclusion of our service, I'd like to thank my clergy partners and also our executive director, Dan Cillian, for crafting the service together. Always a pleasure. And may we all continue to remember the very important message that Rabbi Roxanne shared with us this evening, that if we find a way to look through the tint of rainbow-colored glasses, perhaps only then can we come together in peace. So please join me as we sing Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, umevorach, Shabbat Shalom, umevorach. I now invite you to, if you have a challah with you, please. There we go. Yes, that's a good idea. We would love to invite you to break bread together. We will offer a motzi together. And as Rabbi Brett always says, this also offers us an opportunity to bless our children. May they continue to bring us light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom. We will unmute everyone, and most especially Mazal Tov, Adriana. We are proud of you. We can't wait to celebrate with you in the morning. And Shabbat shalom from my family to yours.
Shabbat shalom to you all. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Everybody.
Hello,
Kelly.
Shabbat shalom, Stephanie.
Hi, Sheila.
Shabbat shalom, Sheila.
See you at 7, Larry.
Shabbat shalom, all.
It looks like you got a quartet going on there.
See you. Shabbat shalom. I love the Mirror family sing.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Pretty good.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Very cool, awesome.
Hey, who's got some extra challah?
Shabbat shalom, Biggie. Oh, Shabbat shalom, puppy.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, Matthew.
Shabbat shalom, man. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat
Shabbat shalom to you all.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Here I am in the corner.
Shabbat shalom. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, Jennifer.